and welcome back to Faith's Kitchen. I spent the day with my mom. It's National Women's Day and she and I have been busy in the kitchen and we have made some delicious prawn rissoles.
Olá, eu e a minha filha hoje, neste Dia da Mulher, juntámos para fazer estes rissóis de camarão, que são muito apetitosos e costumamos fazer por Natal ou por algum aniversário.
So my mom and I prepared this tutorial to show you how we put together our prawn rissoles, and we hope that you will find this English tutorial very helpful. Okay, Ma, time for the taste test.
Okay, great.
That's the best part. Okay, so as you can see, they're nice and crispy on the outside and deliciously creamy. You can just see the pink of the prawn popping out there, and of course this is the best part. Ma, just enough pepper, just enough salt.
Delicioso.
Right, preparing the prawns is usually my mom's job. So she's going to show you how to do that, how she prepares the prawns.
Okay, we've got the prawns in the pot. We're going to add enough water to about halfway to boil them in, and then about a teaspoon of salt and a bay leaf, and about half a teaspoon of cayenne pepper. You can add more if you like it spicier, and also some garlic. And then you wait until it's boiling and you you let it boil. We've now boiled the prawns for about 3 minutes because they were quite small, and we drained them, and we're going to keep the water to use in the dough to give it extra flavor.
Right, so I'm going to be making the dough for the rissoles, and this is the water that we've reserved from cooking the prawns that has got all that delicious flavouring. So I have here 1.5 cups, which I'm then going to add to my pot, and then I have an equal quantity of milk here. I have 1.5 cups of milk, which I'm going to now mix with that delicious water. What I've done is I tasted the prawn water just to check for salt, and so I've actually added half a teaspoon of salt to my prawn water, and then we don't need to add any other seasoning to the dough. And then I also have here 50 grams of butter, and I'm going to warm these together. Now my butter will melt as my water warms up, and we're going to bring that to a boil. In the meantime, I'm going to, while we wait for that, I'm going to measure out 3 cups of flour. And the flour we will only add once the water is boiling. Right, so you can see my liquids have come up to a boil now, and you need a very sturdy wooden spoon for this part. And I'm going to add my flour. I've turned my heat down to medium, and you have to now really stir. This is going to thicken up, and you have to keep mixing in the flour. Eventually it's going to come together into a fairly firm dough, and it's going to make a ball. Everything will kind of pull away from the sides, and you need muscles for this. Oops. Now this is really a tough job. You've got to keep stirring until it's pulled nicely away and it's made a nice ball of dough. And I'll continue stirring until we get to that stage. Oh, this is hard work. All right, you can come in and have a look. You can see that we have a nice round ball of dough. It's pulls, it doesn't stick to the pot at all, it doesn't even stick to the wooden spoon much, and that's the kind of consistency you're looking for in your dough. Right, so we now need to let this cool down completely. before you start rolling it out. And I'm just going to cover it with a wet cloth so it can cool down without steaming up too much. And as soon as that's cooled down, we'll start making our rissoles.
I'm now frying about one medium-sized onion chopped up and a big clove of garlic in about a tablespoon of butter, which we're going to add to the prawn filling to fill the rissoles.
Okay, so my white sauce is cooled down, and I'm just going to check the white sauce for flavor. So I'm just going to see if it's got enough salt, and then we can then add more salt if needed.
Okay, our onions and garlic are now fried. We're going to add it to the chopped prawns together with the parsley and the juice of half a lemon.
How much parsley, Ma?
About 2 tablespoons of parsley, and we're going to mix it nicely. Here we are.
Do you want me to add the white sauce?
Yeah.
Okay, now you don't just dump all your white sauce in here. You put in a little bit at a time and mix it until you're happy with the consistency, and Mama will decide. She's the boss. Mix up, let's see, if that's enough.
No, we need more.
Need more?
Yeah.
Okay. You sure?
Yeah, another tablespoon or so.
Okay, sorry. Okay. That's about like it, or you want more?
You can add more. It's still going to cool down. Okay, this looks about the right consistency for the filling. You don't want it too runny because it's going to go in the dough.
Okay, and then you want to also check at this stage the seasoning. So you can taste a little bit, add salt, add more chili if need be, and adjust the seasoning before you place it inside the dough. Right, if you want to know how to prepare the white sauce that we've just used for our prawn filling, just follow the link here and you can see a tutorial on how to make white sauce. Right, so we're all set now to do our filling. Over here I've got to my left my pastry. I've got a flour shaker that I can just dust my surface slightly, my rolling pin, my cutout. We have egg white. You dip here we have some ready-made, ready formed Rissóis here, and then you dip them in the egg whites and then the breadcrumbs, and then you set them aside later. And then of course, like my mother indicated, we've got our filling ready, and then a little bit of water that helps us to stick the dough together, and then we need the little fork as well just to trim the edges. Okay, so I'm going to show you quickly how thin you want to, roll out your pastry. You want to, it must almost be transparent, but it can't be too thin. I think I'll just do a little bit. It can't be too thin, or else during the filling and the folding process, you might actually tear the pastry. Okay, so you can see my dough's not sticky at all, but I still put just a little bit of flour on the table because it's a waste of time if it does end up sticking, like that. Okay, cut it. So I've rolled out the dough. Just want to show you, it's transparent, you can see through it, but it's not that thin that it's going to tear. So once you got it like that, you can cut out your rounds with a pastry cutter or whatever. You can size it whatever way you want. You can use a glass, you can use a bowl, whatever you have at the ready. It doesn't have to be a pastry cutter. Now my mom's just showing you how she just wets the outside of the pastry, and now
You take about a tablespoonful of the filling.
depending on the size, of the pastry you've cut out.
Yeah.
You don't want to overfill it because then it's difficult to close.
I think this one is too much. And then you fold it over, press nicely together, and then you crimp it with a fork. Here we go. Another one.
Okay.
Done. Here we go.
Okay. And then the next step is dipping it in the egg white. Shall I do that? Yeah. Dip it in the egg white. Use one hand for dipping.
Yes, the best way is you use one hand for dipping and the other hand for rolling, so that you don't get your crumbs stuck to both hands. There we go.
That's a slippery mess.
Very, yeah. There we go. There's some on there.
I'll start rolling out some more dough in the meantime. So we kind of got this system going where I roll and I cut out and my mom fills.
You definitely need a helper for this.
It takes two, baby.
Yeah.
Right, so I've started frying the first batch of prawn rissoles, and we choose to shallow fry them. You could deep fry them, but we normally just prefer to shallow fry them like this. And then once they've gone nice and golden brown like this, you don't want them to burn, then you can take them out and drain them on some paper towels to just remove some of the excess oil. Now you could freeze them at this stage once you've filled them, especially if you want to prepare some for a special occasion. You freeze them ahead of time and then you just defrost them for a couple of hours before you would fry them.